What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Awakening Chaos Era video. Alright, today we're going to talk about how to beat the hard boss 10-8, I believe it is. And then we're going to talk about the best way to go about farming. I'm going to show you guys here today how to farm everything you need in one stage or in one run. Glyphs, XP jelly, and gear. I feel like a lot of you guys are making the mistake of jumping into the rune dungeons. And honestly, I feel like nobody should be farming any of the rune dungeon stages quite yet, because Mythic Campaign drops great runes, drops your glyphs, and drops a ton of XP jelly, which the rune dungeons do not do. Now, the rune dungeon does drop some XP jelly if your heroes are max, but nowhere near the amount of Mythic Campaign. And honestly, most of us should still be focusing on glyphs anyways until they're completely maxed out on our main team. And then we also want to go for substitution characters as well. So first, I'm going to show you how to beat the 10 hard boss. Then I'm going to show you two of the best farmers in the game. One epic, one legendary. And then I'm going to show you how to farm everything in just one stage, runes, glyphs, and XP jelly. So let's get right into this one, and let's beat this boss. Now, this is the last step on the boss. I figured I didn't have to show you guys all the in-between stuff. Basically, you just need a team to get to the end, get the boss down to 1 HP. Once he's at 1 HP, you're going to hit him again, and then he's going to proc his A3, which is this one up here. If we click on it, it'll pop up. We'll scroll down, and we'll see it's Dark Will. You want to make sure that this is popped. I think the mistake a lot of you guys are making, even the same mistake that I made, is you're stripping this before he pops this actual skill, because right now it's not up. So until his death immunity comes up, we don't want to waste our strip spell, and that's the most important thing with this battle, guys, is bringing in the strip spell. And don't leave the battle on auto, because auto will use the spell in the beginning, and then you won't have the spell here on the boss. So basically, all you're going to do once it's 1 HP is you're going to hit the boss. Then you're going to see up top, he procced his A3. Now he has a 3-turn death block. Now all we're going to do is click on our strip and stun spell. We're going to hit the boss with it. It's going to strip off that buff. And now all we have to do is hit him, and this stage is over. Boss is dead. It's that easy. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. Because I feel like a lot of you guys were stuck on this, so I did want to show you real quick how to do it. I know it can be confusing at first, but I'm sure now that you just saw that, it'll be easy for you, and then you can get into Mythic Campaign. Because honestly, guys, I feel like that's where most of us should be right now. We shouldn't be worrying about rune dungeons at all. We should be worrying about Mythic Campaign and farming the hell out of it, because that's where all the juicy stuff comes from, honestly. The way this game was designed, it seems like they want us to be in Mythic Campaign for a little bit before we start jumping into the rune dungeons. There's nothing wrong with going into the rune dungeon and farming some runes, but I promise you guys, you're going to get such better runes from Mythic Campaign than you will get from Stage 9 rune dungeon, Ash, the water one, fire one, whatever it is. You're going to get way better runes from Mythic Campaign, especially starting off when your team is not strong enough to farm Stage 12. And on top of that, you're going to be farming a ton of XP green jelly, and you're going to be farming your glyphs at the same time. So I'm going to give you an example of all this. So let's go back. And before we actually get into that part and I show you guys a run and what I'm talking about, I want to talk about two of the best farmers in my opinion. One epic, one legendary. Now, most of you guys already have Hydra, and I think Zoltlocks, you guys kind of already figuring out how strong this lizard actually is. We call him King Lizard on stream, so I'm going to continue to call him King Lizard, because he's definitely the king of the lizards in my opinion. And the thing with this man is he's so fast, especially when you're doing hard campaign going into Mythic Campaign. He's going to allow you to farm the stages so much faster than if you're using something else. Now, Hydra could do it too, but I feel like Hydra needs a lot more work than King Lizard does. This man doesn't really need that much, just really high attack, and he's able to one-shot the trash waves in seconds. And it just makes going from hard to Mythic that much easier. Because honestly, guys, you should be farming glyphs right now, not really worrying about runes too much. Because you can farm hard campaign with the free rune sets that they give you, and that's going to bring you straight into Mythic. So you don't really need to worry too much about anything else until you go from hard to Mythic Campaign. And honestly, it all goes hand in hand, the XP jelly, the glyphs, and the runes, because in this game, Mythic Campaign actually drops really good runes. Some of my best runes right now are from Mythic Campaign. I still haven't touched a rune dungeon, and my runes are really, really good at this point. Or at least the runes on my main champions are really good at this point. And I'll show you a couple sets in a second. So building King Lizard is really good because he's an epic, he's easy to build, he's easy to max ability. Eventually you'll get the ascensions much faster on him than you would on a legendary. Plus they give a free one in convents, and if you pull another one along the way, you'll be able to unlock his second trait, which makes him even stronger. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I know it makes him a lot stronger. Let's just check it out real quick. So it's going to give him attack up after he kills all characters. So on the second and third wave, this man's going to have attack up, making him even stronger and faster at clearing out the trash waves. That's exactly why I recommend building King Lizard first. He's just going to make the transition from hard campaign to Mythic Campaign that much easier. And the thing is, Mythic Campaign Chapter 1, 2, 3 is actually way easier than the last two chapters on hard, Chapter 9 and Chapter 10. Farming Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 on hard is basically the same thing as farming Mythic Chapter 1 and Chapter 3, if not Mythic being easier than hard Chapter 9 and 10. So going into the early stages of Mythic is just going to make your life easier, and you're going to get a ton of rewards from it. XP jellies, golden glyphs, purple glyphs. You'll be able to farm your lower glyphs without even having to do the lower stages. I'm not saying you need to rush into Mythic because hard will basically give you everything you need as well, but this man will just make the transition that much easier for you. Next, we'll talk about Hydra because I think most of you guys started with her. Now, Sierra is another really good choice. She's actually OP broken at this point. She's probably the best water nuker in the game currently. She is a free fusion, so we all will get her over time. But I think most of us started with Hydra anyways, and she works just fine. Because the thing is, once you get into Mythic and you get past Chapter 3, going to Chapter 4 and 5, you're going to need 2 solid farmers anyways. You're going to need King Lizard, and you're going to need something like a Hydra to be able to auto-farm anything past Chapter 4 going into Chapter 5. So the main goal for you guys should be 6-starring 2 of your farming characters at different elements. So one of them being wood and then one of them being water or fire. Just make sure they're 2 different elements. This way you don't get stuck on certain stages because some stages are just one element. So you want to have a mixture. This way you're able to clear all the stages on auto. This way you don't have to sit there and manual. So having 2 strong characters like this just makes life a lot easier. I'll tell you guys, on my main team, I'm using Lydia, William, King Lizard, and Hydra, and I'm able to basically clear all the Mythic stuff, no problem. I kind of stopped at Chapter 6 because I just wanted to start farming Glyphs and XP Jelly so I can bring the rest of my units up so I can start clearing other content in the game like Void Tower, Hard, and Mythic. But the gear drops, the Glyph drops, and the Jelly has just been insane, so I actually don't want to leave Mythic at the moment. I just want to stay there and keep farming because it just made my life so much easier when I broke into Mythic. So at this point, I'm just staying in Mythic, farming my runes, my XP, and my Glyphs. So this gear, for example, is from Campaign. Now, it's not the best gear in the world, and you do get a lot of purple gear, and I just have it mixed all around. I just want to show you guys an example of some gear. Now, this is 3 speed sets, which is really, really good early game. We love speed. Getting gear like this and going into the other content is just going to make your life so much easier. Instead of having a bunch of 3- and 4-star crap garbage gear that you're going to end up farming from the rune dungeons anyways because you're not going to be able to clear past stage 9. Once you really break into it and you start farming hard, you're going to get a ton of 5-star purple gear, and you'll be able to farm the set that you want just by farming the particular stage that drops that current set, whether it's a warrior set or speed set, whatever it is. You'll be able to pick that stage, glyph, and set. And you can farm both and the set that you want at the same time. Now, as far as my Scarlet goes, she doesn't need anything too crazy. I only use her for debuffer. I don't use her for anything past that. So I didn't mind just throwing this gear on her. And honestly, it was way better than the 3-star crappy gear that I had on her to begin with. And again, this gear right here is all from Campaign. Now, this is 4-star stuff, but it's still decent. I have a problem getting attack boots, so I just threw these on her for now. It's still better than nothing. But if you look at the top 3 pieces of gear, the body first, crit rate, attack, and health, not bad. And then we have attack, health. Again, not bad for Azraina. She doesn't really need too much. She just needs enough to stay alive and put up her ignites. This rune is actually perfect for Azraina. But just to show you guys that we're getting really good rune from the Mythic campaign. Now, on top of getting this good gear, we also are getting glyphs. We're able to farm our legendary and purple glyphs at the same time as doing this. So let's actually go to our storage so I can show you because I don't have any Mythic glyphs yet. I'm still on level, I think, 4 glyphs for most of my main team. Because I've been farming legendary glyphs over purple glyphs because it's just been easier for me to farm those stages and get gear at the same time. So let's go look at our material and you'll see all these legendary glyphs that we have already. This is all from me just farming mythic legendaries, sets of 6 and 5. And we also have a bunch of blue and green glyphs. And the thing with this is when you're farming your legendary glyphs, you also have a chance of getting the common, rare, and epic ones as well. So when you're in a legendary glyph stage, you can get any 3 of those glyphs from that category. So if your hero is that category, you can get any one that you need from it. So you don't have to go back and farm the lower stages to farm the lower glyphs. And then at the same time, you're farming XP jelly. So as long as your heroes are maxed, the overflow will turn into jelly. If you have a booster popped, you'll get 100% more. It stacks up so fast that XP wall that we've had in the beginning disappears because you're able to farm up so much in such a quick time. And you're also farming your glyphs and your gear, and your account just gets stronger and stronger every time you do a ×10 on the campaign mythic. So with all that being said, now we have our best 2 farmers. We want to farm gear, we want to farm XP jelly, and we want to farm glyphs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of our characters. Let's just say Hydra, for example. We want to start farming her glyphs. I just built her in 6 starter, so now I want to farm her glyphs out. So we're going to click on any one of these glyphs. So now we can farm it in 5-1 mythic, 1-1 mythic, or 6-1 hard. So the thing to take away from this is if you're in hard, don't worry about it. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do 6-1 until you're ready to go into the mythic stage. Honestly, though, once you break through that hard campaign, you get to mythic 1, 2, 3. It's just like farming hard anyways. So the faster you can get there, the better. It's just going to make your life that much easier, and your account's going to progress so much faster because you're going to get that XP jelly. We know how sweet that XP jelly is. So for video purposes, I'm just going to pick a random stage. I'm going to click through them real quick so you guys can see them. So these are all purple glyphs on 1-1. We're not going to be able to get legendary glyphs. So me personally, I don't like farming chapter 1. I usually like to farm chapter 3 because I can get legendary glyphs from this. So if we click 3-5, we'll see now we're getting a legendary glyph, we're getting 5-star gear, and we're also getting green glyphs at the same time. So now you'll see we are getting 3 of the best and most needed things early game in just one run. Now it is 12 bread, so your bread's going to go a lot faster than if you were just farming hard. But trust me, it's definitely worth it because being able to farm legendary glyphs and 5-star purple gear, I believe once you get to the later stages, you can actually farm legendary gear as well. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think I am. I think once you get to like the last stages, which I'm not quite ready for, but once your team is ready for that, you can actually farm legendary gear as well, 5-star legendary gear. But just going from hard into mythic, just being able to farm legendary glyphs, 5-star gear, and your jelly all at the same time is going to make things a lot brighter for you, and you're going to be super happy doing it. So when you're ready to jump into this, it depends on what glyphs you need. Obviously, you're going to try to do the glyphs you need first. So before we go into the battle, guys, you're always going to click on bonuses and make sure your XP potion from battles 100% is always popped. If you're going to farm times 10s, this is a necessity. Trust me, it just gives you so much more green jelly and makes your life so much easier when you're trying to upgrade your characters. If you're 100% free to play and you don't have one, but honestly, there's no excuse not to have one because the thing is, it's 150 gems in the shop and you get so many 1-hour ones. Even if you're free to play, you should be spending your gems on one of these boosters regardless. It's just going to make progression so much better for you. So I feel like even if you're free to play, you should be spending your gems on one of these XP potions. Save 150 gems. Don't put it in your summons. Put it into one of these 6-hour cards. So once that's popped, you're going to go into the battle. You're going to make sure that your team is completely maxed or as maxed as it can be. If you're going into Mythic, you should have max 5 stars. It doesn't matter if it's a max 4-star or 5-star as long as the character is maxed at its star level. It doesn't have to necessarily be a 6-star. It can be a 5-star or a 4-star. But getting into later Mythic, you're not going to be able to use a 4-star. It's definitely going to have to be at least a 5-star. I do want to say one more thing before we do this run and close this video out. You guys should be using your support heroes, your friends list, to clear yourself into Mythic campaign. That's going to get you there, guys. A lot of you guys ask me, how do I get through the campaign so quick? And that's from using my friends list, taking advantage of all of my awesome friends. You can use a friend's hero in this game 3 times per day. Most games it only allows you to do once. This game allows you to do 3 times. It just makes life so much easier. Honestly, you'll be able to clear more stages than you couldn't before. So let's just say you can't clear campaign 10, any of the stages. If you use your friends, you'll be able to clear all the way through campaign 10 and then get to Mythic. And you'll most likely be able to farm Mythic chapter 1 to chapter 3, no problem. Even doing 10 times auto without your friends. So definitely take advantage of your friends list. So for this video, we're going to use one of our friends. So I can show you how good it actually works using one of your max characters and then one of your friends' max characters. So we're going to use Inner Pack. He has an insane Hydra. I'm going to showcase it for this video. How good Hydra can be when she's maxed out with max legendary glyphs and gear. She hits like a freaking truck. It's insane. So let's start the battle. You guys can see how quick and good this works and what we get from the actual run. We're going to get a piece of gear. We're going to get a glyph. And we're going to get XP jelly all in just one single run. So this is the best way to farm, guys. Get out of those rune dungeons. Come back to Mythic campaign and farm Mythic campaign. That is where you should be right now. This is the best place to farm in the game. You're farming everything at once and you don't have to worry about going anywhere else in the game. You can go from this to Void Tower, back and forth to your dispatches, your other content. You don't need to leave Mythic campaign until basically all of your heroes that you're using have max legendary glyphs, all 5-star plus 12 gear, and then you can start worrying about the rune dungeons. But just get out of those rune dungeons. It's a waste of bread. Come here, get your XP jelly, and get your glyphs all at the same time. The thing is, and I know in most games, the way they're designed is you basically beat campaign and then you jump right into the rune dungeon. The beauty of this game, they designed Mythic campaign to be really strong and drop a lot of stuff for us. This way we can actually stay in it for a long time and it's not completely worthless. Because in a lot of games, once you beat the campaign, there's like no reason for you to really go back unless you're farming up characters' XP. And in this game, you're not really farming XP, you're just farming the overflow and jelly, and then you use that jelly to level up your characters. And that's another great feature in this game as well. But if we take note at Hydra, she literally one-shot that entire wave, and then King Lizard comes in and one-shots the second wave. 1, 2, 3. We're farming these stages so fast that we're collecting so much jelly, gear, and glyphs that my account is progressing so fast that I'm going to be able to basically finish all of Mythic campaign, and then I can farm any dungeon I want in the game without even touching any of the rune dungeons. Because again, guys, I feel like if you're not farming stage 12 of the rune dungeon, it's just not worth it bread-wise. You're much better off bringing your bread into Mythic campaign and using it here. Even if it's on chapter 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. Even if it's a beginning chapter, I still think you're better off coming here because the gear drops, in my opinion, are better than if you're farming stage 7 or stage 8 of any rune dungeon. It just seems like the rune drops are better for me in Mythic campaign than they've been in stage 8 of Ash. Because I was farming Ash for a little bit, but then I realized that the rune drops just weren't good enough. I wasn't getting this access jelly that you guys see up top there. You see all that jelly that we're getting from this battle because all our characters are maxed. Now, I don't know if we got the jelly from our friend being in this, but on a normal farm for me, I wouldn't have my friend. I think we actually get more jelly from this run as well. And then we're also getting gear and we're getting the glyphs like I keep saying. I just want to hammer that home for you so you'll see we're getting 10k XP jelly. We got 4-star boots. Those aren't really good, but if you don't have anything better, let's just say their attack percentage or speed. Attack percentage, I could probably throw this on something just to get use out of it until I get 5-star purple boots. But honestly, they're usable even though they're 4-star because sometimes it's hard to get attack percentage on boots. It's speed and attack. Sometimes it's hard to get. Then we're also getting gold, which is another resource we need. We're getting a food shard and we're also getting a glyph. So we're getting this all from one run here in Mythic. So again, guys, if you're in those rune dungeons, get out of them. Come back to Mythic campaign. This is where you guys should be. If you haven't built King Lizard or Hydrissa or Sierra, build them, get them up and running, and get back into Mythic campaign. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. If I missed anything, guys, like always, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Thank you guys so much for the support here on YouTube. We have the sub celebration going on, and that's always linked down below with my Twitch and my Discord. We do 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, random giveaways on Twitch. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway that we do here on YouTube, all you have to do is sub to the channel, like and comment on my past 10 videos, and that will automatically enter you to the random giveaway. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.